Good morning. How are you all today? Thank you all for visiting with us, and we're continuing our studies from the book of Joshua. So welcome to Bible class with Andre and Betty. And in the book of Joshua, today we'll be studying chapters 16 and 17. And it will be Joseph's two sons received their inheritance, and the land will be divided between Joseph's two sons. Joseph is the one who went to Egypt and became governor over the land of Egypt after he had been sold into slavery by his other brothers. And his two sons were born in Egypt, and their names are Manasseh and Ephraim. And Joseph is not named as receiving an inheritance. His inheritance comes through his two sons, and so they're going to receive their portion. So we'll be doing chapters 16 and 17. Verse 1, 16:1. And the lot of the children of Joseph fell from Jordan to Jericho, unto the water of Jericho on the east, to the wilderness that goeth up from Jericho throughout Mount Bethel, and goeth out from Bethel to Luz, and passeth along unto the borders of Archi and Ataroth, verse 3, and goeth down westward to the coast of Jableti, unto the coast of Beth Horon the Nether, and to Jezar, and the goings out thereof are at the sea, verse 4. So the children of Joseph, Manasseh and Ephraim, took their inheritance. Verse 5, and the border of the children of Ephraim according to their families was thus, of the next few verses. Even the border of their inheritance on the east side was Ataroth Adar, unto Beth-horon the upper. Verse 6, and the border went out toward the sea to Michmetha on the north side, and the border went about eastward unto Tanath Shallow, and passed by it on the east to Genoha. Verse 7, and it went down from Genoha to Ataroth and to Narath, and came to Jericho, and went out at Jordan. The border went out from Taphu westward unto the river Cana, and the goings out thereof were at the sea. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Ephraim by their families, and the separate cities, verse 9. For the children of Ephraim were among the inheritance of the children of Manasseh, all the cities with their villages. So the separate cities are those cities in Manasseh that had been given to Ephraim. We'll get an example of one in verse 8 of chapter 17. Verse 10, and they drave not out the Canaanites that dwelt in Gezer, but the Canaanites dwell among the Ephraimites unto this day, and serve under tribute. And now chapter 17, Manasseh's inheritance will be described. Verse 1, Joshua 17, verse 1. There was also a lot for the tribe of Manasseh, for he was the firstborn of Joseph. To be exact, to wit, for measure, the firstborn of Manasseh, the father of Gilead, because he was a man of war. Therefore he had Gilead and Bashan. Verse 2. There was also a lot for the rest of the children of Manasseh by their families, for the children of Abiezer, and for the children of Helak, and for the children of Azriel, and for the children of Shechem, and for the children of Hepher, and for the children of Shemitah. These were the male children of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, by their families. And these all descended, that we just named, descended from Manasseh. But verse 3 says, but Zelophehad, or Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Mashir, the son of Manasseh, had no sons, but daughters. And these are the names of his daughters, Mahlah and Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. So these 5 daughters, Moses gave them an inheritance among their brethren. And to keep the tribes from mixing themselves amongst each other, the girls that receive inheritance had to marry within their own tribe or with the family that they came from. Verse 4. And they came near before Eleazar the priest, and before Joshua the son of Nun, and before the princes, saying, the Lord commanded Moses to give us an inheritance among our brethren. Therefore, according to the commandment of the Lord, he gave them an inheritance among the brethren of their father. And there fell 10 portions to Manasseh, beside the land of Gilead and Bashan, which were on the other side Jordan, on the east side of Jordan. Verse 6. Because the daughters of Manasseh had inheritance among his sons, and the rest of Manasseh's sons had the land of Gilead. And the coast of Manasseh was from Asher to Magmetha, that lieth before Shechem, and the border went along on the right hand unto the inhabitants of Eritophah. Verse 8. Now Manasseh had the land of Taphu, but Taphu on the border of Manasseh belonged to the children of Ephraim. And that's an example of a separate city, a city within the inheritance of Manasseh. Verse 9. And the coast descended unto the river Cana, southward of the river. These cities of Ephraim are among the cities of Manasseh. The coast of Manasseh also was on the north side of the river, and the outgoings of it were at the sea. Southward it was Ephraim's, and northward it was Manasseh's, and the sea is his border. And they met together in Asher on the north, and in Issachar on the east. Verse 11. And Manasseh had in Issachar and in Asher Beth-shean and her town, so that would be a separate city, and Emblem and her towns, and the inhabitants of Dor and her towns, and the inhabitants of Endor and her towns, and the inhabitants of Tanakh and her towns, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and her towns, even 3 countries. Verse 12. Yet the children of Manasseh could not drive out the inhabitants of those cities, but the Canaanites would dwell in that land. Verse 13. Yet it came to pass when the children of Israel were waxing strong, that they put the Canaanites to tribute, but did not utterly drive them out. They made them laborers and taxpayers, but they did not utterly drive them out. Verse 14. And the children of Joseph spake unto Joshua, saying, Why hast thou given me but one lot and one portion to inherit, seeing I am a great people, forasmuch as the Lord had blessed me hitherto? Verse 15. And Joshua answered them, If thou be a great people, then get thee up to the wood country, and cut down for thyself there in the land of the Perizzites and of the giants, if Mount Ephraim be too narrow for thee. And the children of Joseph said, The hill is not enough for us, and all the Canaanites that dwell in the land of the valley have chariots of iron, both they who are of Bethshean and her towns, and they who are of the valley of Jezreel. Verse 17. And Joshua spake unto the house of Joseph, even to Ephraim and to Manasseh, saying, Thou art a great people, and hast great power. Thou shalt not have only one lot only. Verse 18. But the mountain shall be thine, for it is a wood, and thou shalt cut it down, and the outgoings of it shall be thine, or yours. But thou shalt drive out the Canaanites, though they have iron chariots, and though they be strong. So you're going to have to fight, and you'll be victorious over the Canaanites for this portion of the land. And so Manasseh and Ephraim received their inheritance. Now, half the tribe of Manasseh was on the east side of Jordan, and the other half would be on the west side of Jordan in Canaan land. And so all these names and places are difficult to do, because I don't do geography, but all of these are land areas that these different tribes received as they were blessed by God to come out of Egypt and go into the promised land. So you all be good, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day and a great week.